O Great Spirit, saints and sages of all times, of all places, O ye pathmakers of old, most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of all of the bloodlines to whom we attune. O ye powers that be of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether. Namaste. Most beloved gurus of the holy Kriya lineage. Namaste. Most beloved and precious Lord Ishtadevata. Namaste. May our time together be blessed. May our time together be fruitful. May our time together be meaningful. Om Shanti. 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 Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday noon meditation. Once upon a yogi time, there was a young man, young boy, if you will, who wanted to climb a mountain. His grandmother was a climber, his grandfather was a climber, his mother was a climber, his father was a climber. His brothers and sisters were climbers. And every day they would begin their day in a particular way. They'd sit down, and they'd shut their eyes, and they were quiet. He never knew what they were doing, but they were all quiet. And then youngest sister would get up and she'd go one way. An older brother would get up and he'd go the other way. And then Grandmama would get up and she'd go to the kitchen. Papa would get up and he'd go another way. And Mama would sit. And after a while, Mama would get up. Now the family lived at the base of a mountain. And he knew that everybody was trying to get to the top of the mountain. This was their family dharma. Because all the family members before had gone to the top of the mountain. Everybody in the family had made it up. They'd come back down, they made it up again. They'd come back down, they made it up again. They'd come back down, they made it up again. And so, when he was 7, he began. Sit down, shut his eyes in the morning. That's pretty boring. He didn't know what to do. And so he ran after sister, he ran after brother, he ran after grandmama, grandpapa, mom, dad, and tried to watch. What were they doing? But he didn't know yet the great secret. And he saw his sister going up the mountain path, and he tried to follow her. And he got a certain way, and he did pretty well. And then he ran into a boulder that he could not go over. He couldn't go the same way Sis did. And he rolled back down the mountain. And he repeated this for days, first with sister, first with brother, then with other family members. Finally, he was 7.5. And he noticed that sister and brother talked to each other. They talked to mom and dad very seriously. And he started to listen. What were they talking about? Well, I ran into the boulder today. I couldn't get around it yesterday. I don't know what to do. Did you meditate? He heard. Did you meditate? He heard. Did you meditate? He heard. Did you reflect? Did you contemplate? Did you meditate? Or did you just run up the path? Each day he heard the same thing over and over. Sister would ask, brother would ask, grandma, grandpapa, mother, father, all would say the same things. And he thought, I better figure out this meditation stuff. How do I do it? What do I do? Am I doing it when I sit down and shut my eyes and just, nothing happens except thoughts tell me I've got to go up the mountain. Anyway, a few days go by, a few weeks go by, a few months go by. And he thinks, oh, what are they doing? They're asking for help. I see. They're asking for help. Now, they're never told, this is the way you go. But they're always told, well, did you consider this? Would that maybe work for you? Have you given this a thought? Mama and Papa, Grandmama, Grandpapa never said, go down to the corner, turn left, and the store's right there. They always said, what do you think? Have you considered this? And he watched and he observed. And finally, one day, he got up the courage and he went to his sister, the one closest to him in age, because he thought she wouldn't laugh at him. He was afraid of being laughed at, like all of us. And he asked her about this thing called meditation. And he asked her, why do you ask every time you run into a bump on the path, you come back and you talk about it and you ask them for help? Aren't you old enough to do it yourself? She gave him an answer. He went to brother. He gave him the same answer. He went to Mama and Papa and Grandpapa. And finally he went to Grandmama, the wisest soul that he knew. And she said, oh, you're never too old to ask for help. The way that you walk up the path is to ask for help. Life will help you. That boulder in your path, why, that stops the mountain from collapsing down upon you. It stops when the rain is here. It stops the mudslides from coming down so that you have a place of refuge. And if you walk a little bit over further, you can find a path to walk around it. And if that path doesn't work, you come back and you go the other direction and you walk around that. Now, my son, my grandson, my beloved, What you don't do is you don't scream and cry and holler and yell. You say, how can I use this? Is this the right way for me to go? Screaming and hollering and being angry at what life brings to you, it's emotional. It just causes the mind to become emotional, to rant and to rave. But sitting down and quietly quieting the mind, meditating, interning, causes the mind to become peaceful, to become like a lake, and the wisdom arises for you. The wisdom that you seek arises for you. And that, my beloved, is how you find the right direction, the right way for you. Life is your best friend. All of the others, they're your best friend. They give you the opportunity to grow, to unfold. How do you use that opportunity? What is to be done? And so he saw for the first time his family was pretty happy. Mom and dad and sister and brother and grandpapa and certainly grandmama, they were happy. They were content. And he wanted that. And he saw that they lived peacefully with each other and that they were all supporting each other to get up to that shrine in the high place, to achieve the state of consciousness here. And he knew Grandmama had been there many times and resided there. Grandpapa the same. Mom and Dad, they were up there quite a bit. And even sister and brother were attaining that beautiful balanced state of Anandic bliss. And he wanted it. As do we. Now, what was the mystery here? The mystery was that he had the good karma, right? To belong to a family that helped each other. Now, you may not have been born into or adopted into or fostered into or been a part of a family that has helped each other. But you have your own family. You create your own family. You have all of these souls who are seeking to get to the top of the mountain, who are seeking to find their own happiness, their own enlightenment. And you can watch them. You can say, I wonder how he got there. I wonder how she got there. I wonder how they got there. Ah, meditation, meditation, meditation. Something else is different. They're kind. They're compassionate. They don't run off ranting and raving. They're kinder. They're compassionate. They're kinder. They're compassionate. They take time for each other. They take time to be of help to those who are in need, including you and me. What is the magic that unfolded for each of those people? What did they do? What were they taught? They were taught the great secret, the greatest of the yoga asanas, to stand on your own 2 feet. Doesn't say stand alone on your own 2 feet. Doesn't say to stand without help, getting up on your own 2 feet. It doesn't say that you never ask for help, but it says that standing on your own 2 feet must come from within you. You must have the desire to lift yourself up from wherever you are at this moment, to lift yourself up and to stand so that you can take that step, one step at a time, along your path to enlightenment. Now I look at you and I see you're all on such different paths. You know, I see doctors among you. I see artists among you. I see people who sell real estate among you. I see mothers among you. I see translators among you. I see technical people, IT people, people who are radio hands, people who are tremendously creative in the arts, whether it's with painting or drawing or writing. All of these are different paths. I see business people among you, business owners, businessmen and women. Doulas, birth doulas, death doulas, all here this morning. What is it, then, that you realize? What's common for all of you? You're all seeking your own enlightenment. You're all seeking to become happy, to live in this world with greater joy, with greater equanimity, with greater happiness. To do that, we must understand life, the nature of the world in which we live. And we must recognize and appreciate and honor that each of us is distinct. Each of us has a different path up the mountaintop. What works for me may not work for you. What works for you may not work for me. Now, understanding this, understanding that life is good. We may not understand karma. We may not understand the big, 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 big picture. Probably we don't. We don't understand. It's not that we cannot understand it. It is that so often our minds are confined. You know, our horizon of awareness narrows until we've blocked out the right side with the thumb, or we blocked out the left side with the thumb, or we have the thumb blocking both, and we can see just this, the tip of the nose. And we fail to see all the other options around us. One of the important mystical principles is to recognize, as this young soul did, there's not one path. Not one path. There's not two paths. It's not either or. No. It's either or cancel. You start to take a step along the path and you're walking and you come into a boulder. A boulder gets in your way. So you go off to the right. There don't look like there are any boulders. Doesn't look like there are any boulders there. You walk a little bit further and there's a stone gets in your shoe. Worse than the boulder. Gets in your shoe and it's in your shoe and in your shoe and in your shoe. For some of you, that stone is the health of your body becomes a challenge. And that stone gets in your shoe and gets in your shoe and gets in your shoe, and it becomes discouraging, becomes overwhelming. And you want to sit down and give up. Just for a moment. You want to give up. You tried this way, it doesn't work. You tried this way, it doesn't work. All right. Sit down and become quiet and say, now, is there another route I can go? I may have to turn around, and it may look like I'm going out of my way, but is there another route that's going to be more harmonious? Not long ago, I was driving with my husband, and we were coming from visiting a family, and we had really routed intentionally, very intentionally, to drive in some very sattvic, beautiful areas. Really driving in the country, driving on roads that were just beautiful, surrounded by trees and surrounded by farmland. And we came to a section that we had not planned on, let's just say that, and took a right-hand turn, and we ended up on a very busy, busy highway. It was fine for a little while. And then all of a sudden, we're surrounded by trucks. Trucks on the left, trucks on the right, trucks in front, trucks in back. Now, they were going fast. Their minds were going fast. Their minds were very, 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 gotta get there, gotta get there, gotta get there. There was one fellow particularly right behind us. I was driving, and he needed to be someplace on time. And I said after about 10 minutes, I said, you know what, we're going to get off here. We're going to stop, and we're going to figure out if there's another route we can take around this. Because that man needs to get someplace, and I don't want to be in his way. We pulled off and found another route, and it was 25 miles different, right? Took a little longer, but it was so peaceful. It was so peaceful. The spiritual life is like that. It is not a superhighway. You're not having to race and get there in a certain amount of time. And some of you feel like that. And some of you feel, well, if I have to stop and go off and chant a mantra here, it's going to take me too long. I need to keep pushing forward, pushing forward, pushing forward. It's just like chanting mantra. You chant mantra and you chant 10, and all of a sudden your voice starts to get wavery. Do you keep on going? No. Neti, neti, neti. No. Stop. Begin again. Well, I got to 100. I only need to go to 108. I need to push through it. No. If you're pushing through its angular energy, you want to live your life as smoothly and harmoniously. The path is your life. Your path to enlightenment is your life. You better enjoy it, because this is what we've got. This is it. You can't get off here and say, oh, well, I was really crabby this morning, and I wasn't very nice to my spouse, and I was, but now I'm going to get off and I'm going to be holy or happy. No, 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 no. It must be a continual process that we go through. And so when you find that life's gotten too busy, which I know looking at you, I can feel the vibration from some of you. It has. But I'll tell you, I got a note this week from a student. And it was really probably one of the most meaningful notes I've ever received. And she said, when you first started teaching this class, it was a course that I was teaching that she belonged to, and you kept saying to slow down so I could meditate. I really didn't like it. It really made me crazy. I couldn't stand to slow down. I couldn't stand to sit. I got very upset and nervous inside. Because for 30 years I was in business, and all I did was make deadlines and go and go and go and go and go. And then I started to do what you suggested. And now, a few years later, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm starting to teach. I'm happy. I'm able to deal with the challenges life is bringing to me because I've been able to meditate, and I'm happy. Now, this is a soul who was very frank. She said, people even tell me I'm relaxed and happy. Never in my life have people told me I'm relaxed and happy. Wow. Isn't it amazing what meditation can do? So what's the key here? What am I trying to say? In all of this, what am I trying to say? You for you. You have the capacity to be happy, to be joyful, to choose what your path is. To walk that path. Never think it's only right or left. Pranananda used to say that computer technology brought to the forefront one of the greatest practices, which is yes, no, maybe, or yes, no, or cancel. Cancel. And we need to keep that in mind. Just because I've started along the path doesn't mean I have to keep going this way. I can step off unless the trajectory has gone so far that I have to really put the brakes on hard to stop. But you can harmoniously find a way to step off. Not aggressively, harmoniously. What do you do? How are you quiet? How do you find wisdom? You have to stop. You want to do something in your life. You think you really want to do it. But then you realize, you think that if you were to do this one thing, that you have to give up something else. Is that true? Or is it not true? Is there a third way? Can I ask? Could I go and say, is there a way I can take this class and it could be somehow different so I can do it and I can still take my violin lessons? Can you go to your violin teacher and say, is there a way I could move this? What can be done? We must learn that with confidence, you must establish that you are the one who has the capacity to change your life. You can ask for help as much as you need, as much as you want. I do it every day. Here, 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 here. Please help me, help me, help me. Help me to see so I might help them and myself. Being willing to ask the divine for help, being willing to ask life for help, and it is vital. And in a sense, here's the key, my beloved. It's always to have an awareness that in your mind, you may be feeling, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And that this that you think you want is really not for your highest good. So what can you do? How do you step back and discern what is for your highest good? Well, I can tell you how to see the signs that it's not for your highest good. And that is if you are stepping to do something and you run into a repeated obstacle, one obstacle after another obstacle after another obstacle after another obstacle. Doesn't mean the goal's not the right goal. It means that you've started it at perhaps the wrong time. Timing is everything. Maybe you've started it at the wrong place. Place is everything. Maybe you don't have the right people to help you, whether they're help here on the earth or help with the divine. Maybe your destination needs to be clarified. If you start something and lethargy sets in, if you start something and objections set in, if you start something and people call you names, say cruel things to you, do things behind your back that are hurtful to you, you have to say, well, all right now, what do I need to do here? How do I need to balance this? And sit back and reflect and do what needs to be done. Life's delays are not life's denials. Step back, stop, reflect. Let go of all the churning of the mind, all the chaos, the chaos. Let go. Let it sit. Let there be calmness and peace and tranquility so that you might see the right path. If you choose to look at every event that comes into your life as a blessing, every event that comes into your life, all the people, the events, the things, the situations that come into your life as blessings, that you can learn from them, that you can gain greater understanding of the nature of this in which we live, you will bless yourself. You will free yourself from the confinement of your self-confinement, from your self-confinement. Because all of the limitations we have in our life are self-confinement. Letting go, accepting that we are in alignment with life, that we are in partnership with life. Life is not against us. We're a part of it. And thus it is with us. And we can find then harmony in our life, the way to walk through those difficult things, the way to walk through the difficult situations, the way to harmonize with the people who are not so easy to be harmonized with. This allows you the capacity to improve your decision making, to speak with greater wisdom, to act with greater wisdom, to think, to discern with greater wisdom. The young man wanted to become a Swami, so he goes to apply to seminary, and he sees that there's a requirement, and that requirement would mean that he would have to give up his music lessons, which are held at a certain time every month. He thinks, well, he doesn't want to give up his music lessons. So he decides, well, I guess I don't really want to become a Swami. I'm not going to do it. I can't give up my music lessons. And he never thinks to say, now how could I do this? What could I do differently? Do I really want to be a Swami? What could I do differently? Could I talk to them? Is there something that could change? Could I talk to my music teacher? Could I talk to the seminary people to find out if it can change? And instead, he says, no, I can't have this, and cuts out something he wanted from his life. Don't be like that, my beloved. Always say, is there another way I could do this? Is there another day? Is there another time? Is there some other way that we could make this happen? And you will be amazed at what life brings to you. You will be overjoyed at what life brings to you. the possibilities, the joy, the ease that life brings. It's amazing. Set aside your biases, your prejudices, your fixed thoughts, and allow the opportunity for a new way to come. And realize again and again and again and again and again, there are 1,000, 100,000 paths to enlightenment. And while you may see that along the path you're walking, somebody's tread that way before. That's what Kriya is about, right? To help you to find your own primary experience, but using a path that others have followed. But we're not identical. And you may see, oh yeah, the path up to here, a lot of people. Then it gets narrower, then it gets narrower. And then you start to see, oh, there's just a few that have tread further. If I want to go further, I guess I need to turn inward and go upward to see what they have seen, to do what they've done. With that, what have I tried to say today before we go to meditate? Accept that there are many paths to attaining that which you wish to attain. Some take longer than others. Some people go to college to get their undergraduate degree and they can do it in 3 years. Some take 4, some take 5, some take 9. What is the difference? How many classes you take over what period of time? You all end up with the same degree. Your experiences along the way are different. Accept what your experiences are and let go of the longing for the other person's experience. If you had really wanted that, my beloved, you'd be having it. If you really wanted it, you'd be having it. Learn from your own experiences. Be happy with your own experiences. And if you don't like them, if they're not bringing you joy, then find a way to harmoniously change them. I think so often of my guru saying, Swami Pranananda, people would come to him and after he taught and, I quit my job yesterday after your meditation. What do you mean you quit your job? I never told you to quit your job. You told me to be happy. Harmoniously. You quit your job. Who's going to pay the rent? Find a way to do that harmoniously. We are on the earth plane. We're living on the earth plane. And we must learn to harmonize our lives with the earth plane before we can ascend to the astral and the causal. All you have to do is harmonize a little bit. Just a little bit. Find joy in your path and recognize that it's okay to ask for help along your path. It doesn't mean that they're making your decisions for you. It doesn't mean that they're walking your path. But there's a time we all need to lift up. And somebody said to me last week, the week before, a few weeks ago, that they found that it was embarrassing or humiliating to ask for help. And all that I could say is, there will come a time in your life where you will reach the point, and I hope you gain this before you reach it, but you'll reach the point where you really must ask for help. Something will happen physically that you have to ask for help. Something will happen emotionally that you have to ask for help. Life is here to help us. There are plenty of helpers around you, both here on the earth and elsewhere. All you have to do is turn and say, would you give me a lift, please? Could you help me up from this position, please? Could you ease the difficulty I'm having now? Could you help me to ease the difficulty? And you will be helped. Take the thumb out of your eye and open your arms, and life will bless you. And now let us turn inward. The camera will go to the altar, and we will turn inward and meditate together for a time. Sitting with your spine erect, placing your hands in the Om Mudra upon your thigh. And turn your head to the left with a double exhalation. Bring the head back to the center, beginning to watch the breath. Use the sipping breath and draw the energy from the limbs to the trunk. From the trunk to the base of the spine, to the spinal column, from the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy out as a golden ball of light in front of you. Expand it. Sweeping around to the left 3 times, encase your being in a golden ball of light. Settled comfortably in that golden light. Expand the ball and begin to ascend to the high place. Ascending above the room you're in, above the building, above the planet. Ascend to the high place. Finding yourself in the high place, in your sacred meditation spot. Become comfortable. Feel the light pouring down upon you. Gazing with your third eye, you see a mountain in front of you. Gazing upward, you see a brilliant light shining just over halfway up the mountain. And in your mind's eye, you see a path that is calling to you. step upon that path and begin to walk up the mountainside. And as you ascend, you become aware of all of the life experiences that are helping you to walk up this mountain. They lift you. The path becomes a forest filled with the blessings of your life. As you ascend, you feel the blessings of all of your life experiences lifting you. The people who have blessed you, the experiences have blessed you. Your path becomes easier. Your footing becomes stronger. In front of you, the path opens to a meadow filled with color. All the experiences of your life in front of you, in flowers, in birds, dragonflies, in colors, filling you, strengthening you, vivifying you, all of the wisdom you have gained in your life. The rocks in your shoes that have turned into wings. You ascend upward, filled with the blessings of your life. The light upon the mountain is stronger and stronger. The brilliant light shines in front of you, and you realize you are halfway up the mountain. The light is calling you. You come to an opening in your path. You see in front of you a shrine, perfect for you. Sustained by the gemstones, the colored light, the trees, the beauty of life. Walk into the shrine. All of the blessings of your life surround you and fill you. Breathe in the light. Walking to the back of the shrine. You come to a pool of light, and you step into this pool, and all of the old dissolves away. You walk towards a waterfall that is feeding the pool. Covered with light. Stand beneath the waterfall of light. Let the light pour down upon you and fill every cell of your being. As the old karmas are washed away, your being is filled with light. The light is filled with Ananda. 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 Da, da. Ananda. 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 Lifted and filled with light, you walk forth from the waterfall. Slightly above the pool, you walk forth into the shrine. Feel yourself covered anew, vibrant, radiating a light. The light is poured down upon your crown center, down upon the back of your spine, filling every cell of your being with light, surrounding your being, within your being. The radiant light which you are shines forth. as you walk forth from the shrine. Lifting your attention to the sun center, you levitate to the high place of the meditators. You find yourself in the grove of meditation. Here we gather as a sangha, silently or chanting softly. Send forth that golden light which thou art in these prayers that we offer. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, feel that golden light radiate from your sun center, pouring down, joining together with all the powers that be as we send forth our blessings. Knowing that your Yoga City, your help, is a blessing. O ye powers that be, most beloved and precious Ishta, we send forth our blessings upon Mother Gaia, the host upon whom we live, that these golden drops of Anandic bliss will heal her, will strengthen her, will give her that which she needs. Om Shanti. 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 For all of those who are living with a hardened heart, may their hearts be softened. May their beings be opened to compassion, nonviolence, wisdom. Om Shanti. 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 For those whose bodies are suffering with thirst and hunger, with fear and loneliness, may they have that which they need most, to lift, to soften, to soften. Om Shanti. 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 For all of those who are imprisoned upon the earth, imprisoned by their thoughts, imprisoned by their biases, their prejudices, physically, mentally, emotionally imprisoned, may they be freed harmoniously. May they see that which needs to be seen, to be freed. Om Shanti. 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 Om Shanti. 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 Om Shanti. 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 For all of those sentient beings who are entering into the earth plane at this moment, may they be helped. May their helpers be helped. May their way be cleared. May their incarnation upon the earth be a blessing. Om Shanti. 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 For all of those who are leaving the earth plane, for their helpers, may their way be cleared, may their path be harmonious, may their new life be ever more harmonious. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. For all of those whose needs we do not know, whose needs we cannot see, whose needs we have not asked for, we ask that you send forth these blessings where they are needed most, in the most harmonious and peace-filled way. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Most beloved Lord of life, we call upon thee at this time. May we accept the blessings of life. May we accept the blessings of the helpers, the powers that be, that our way be cleared, that our karma be softened most harmoniously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Hold on to that sacred feeling. Let the blessings pour down upon every cell of your being. Take that stillness and quietness with you, that you be blessed with each breath that you breathe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Thank you for the blessings of your presence, for your yoga city, for your spiritual energies today, for joining our Sangha, for being here. May your week be blessed. May each breath be blessed. Namaste.